Steckling, who was a German pilot who later settled in San Diego, and he was a follower of Adamski.
Also an author.
Wrote a well-known book about aliens on the moon, or something like that. And here's one piece of footage. Formation, perhaps.
This is our first bit of Soviet footage. We'll have more as we go on.
There'll be some more later. Of course, back in the 60s, UFOs were completely
politically incorrect.
Yes, complete. In fact, even the term UFO could not be used because Pravda, as you remember in a famous article, said that was a capitalist term.
We've got to think of our own socialist term.
So they had to use anomalous atmospheric phenomena and things like that. Of course, when Gorbachev came, that changed.
It did indeed. Gorbachev took UFOs quite seriously. Here's a great clip.
This is a great one, yeah.
Look at your lower left-hand corner. There it goes, heading toward the cowboy's neck. It's so light.
This is for an advertisement for
It's a Marlboro ad.
Right.
You bet.
The cowboy.
You see it come out toward the middle of the screen on the right side, and there it is. And again, it's moving along on a diagonal trajectory.
Yeah.
Truly anomalous, and just one of those moments.
Anomalous and politically incorrect.
Smoking. Bad for you, kids. Don't do it.
This also contactee kind of oriented guy, Joe Ferrier, I think was his name, from Rhode Island. Cigar-shaped.
Very traditional in the lore, and we'll see a number of tubular-shaped unknowns.
Yeah.
Again, their disposition we can only comment on, and, unfortunately, experts in this field can't do the hard turns that you can in a lot of other areas of natural science and research. Best we can do is say, I don't know what that is by any conventional standards.
Could be a model, suspended from the tree.
It could be anything, or it could be what it appears. Oh boy, here we go again.
Now we go into the Apollo program, because previously we had seen the Gemini program.
Right.
These first ones, though, I believe they are lens flares.
You may well be right. I don't know. And at the same time, this would not be an uncommon kind of phenomenon to catch off a glass. But make no mistake about it, some of the material we're going to see here
on the NASA photo, there were many lens flares, but what you'll see now is definitely not a lens flare.
Stuff. Now, you had told me yesterday, Antonio, that the astronauts themselves coined a term for this phenomena.
I don't know if it was the astronauts or later people at Lockheed who did, who analyzed a lot of the footage. Moon bug.
I love it
because they're very small.
Now let's look at this, folks. It is a white
and you'll see various of them.
It's moving like a satellite, but there are no artificial satellites moving over the surface of the moon.
And also, we should clarify that all these NASA footage that you will be seeing throughout this program,
totally authentic.
released through NASA. Maybe we can debate as to what it shows, but there's no controversy, even by the most archy skeptics, that it's a bogus footage. It came from NASA files. It's part of the space program.
It surely did, and make no mistake about it, that is not a meteorite about to crash into the moon.
I don't think so. No. It's very small, as you can tell.
But there it is between the surface of the capsule.
Yeah, and the limb. I think that's what you're seeing, because that's why you see the full lunar module from the guy who stayed, orbiting the moon. Here you'll see like a sort of a little dance, I believe, between these little objects, whatever they are.
And again, we're looking through.
Yeah, this is grainy, but eventually you do see them.
There.
Yeah, there they are.
We are going to see some shots looking toward Earth as opposed to the moon later on, where you'll see a similar phenomena. And in that case, it is the way a good lightning storm will register from space. These little... But this is not that.
No, this is all from the moon. This is all part of the Apollo footage. So there's no...
Maybe there's fireflies in space and they wear little suits and hold their breaths.
Practically no atmosphere on the moon, although now I think they concede that there's maybe a very thin atmosphere.
Yeah.
Adamski, oddly enough, talked about the moon having an atmosphere.
That's an interesting configuration. What it is, we don't know.
Let's see what comes now. More NASA.
Apollo 12, the one right before the famous one where Tom Hanks went into space.
Right.
There we go.
This is one of the better ones.
That's a beauty.
Of these types of moon bugs. There you see it in slow motion.
Go, baby. Now, that's not that far in the big picture over the moon. I think we're about to leave the 60s here.
Yeah.
Goodbye, moon.
And we'll move on to the 70s.
Right, and this is the decade where we start to see some video footage, obviously.
Towards the end of the 70s,
right.
Yes. But really
cameras were expensive, they were bulky.
And exactly, they were bulky. They were not,
of the time,
not easily available,
no.
And not affordable.
And some of the early video footage we're going to see is, camera or television footage.
Yeah, because even TV, they used to use motion pictures in the early days.
Okay, again, this is shot by...
Oh, this is the one in England. I believe that there was an explanation for this, that it was some kind of high-altitude refueling. I'm not saying that's
but that sequence right
I'm
there.
just saying that was an explanation offered at the time.
What interested me about this was that we see the contrail seemingly go and disappear, and then the craft, or whatever is generating, goes back the other way.
Well, because in refueling you have two aircraft and connected each other, but... I don't know. I'm just saying that's one explanation that was offered. This is a...
I like this one.
I like this one too, yes.
We really get to spend, Peter Dale here, the photographer, fixed on an object, moving on a horizontal line. You see archetypal site in England, low woods.
Yeah, this is what we were talking at the beginning. Here it's perfect, with you have all kinds of reference points. Beautiful shot in that sense.
And back we go to it. Now, again, I really don't think that fits the profile of a conventional aircraft.
Yeah, playing devil's advocate, you could say maybe an aircraft under, heavy weather conditions or something.
Maybe.
But
maybe not.
Maybe not.
And Dale stays with this for a good amount of time, so we do have a chance to really follow it and see that it is not being blown around. It doesn't seem to be exhibiting any of the characteristics of a blimp or anything. Okay.
Oh, this is, I'm familiar with this one. Actually, it's taken not in San Juan, but in Santurce. It's another city in Puerto Rico. And this was for a commercial where they had a fixed camera, and they left the film shooting all night because they wanted to do the sunlight, the sunset, and then the
time lapse.
Yeah, and there it comes above. And unfortunately, the camera was fixed and there was nobody there, so the object incredibly appeared right in front of the camera, but then since there was no cameraman, they couldn't follow it up.
Exactly.
But even the fact that we have it is very good. And you also see some aircraft going by.
Yeah, we have something to compare it to.
Which is particularly good on UFO footage when you do see aircraft too, because then you can compare both objects, and it kind of really expands.
Yeah, look at the glow there.
It's a very interesting video. Yeah. Definitely very, very interesting. I forgot what it was a commercial for.
Imagine their surprise when they checked out the footage the next morning.
That's how it happened. Yeah, when they checked the footage, and I guess he made it on the news in Puerto Rico eventually, and I don't know whether it was used on the commercial or not, but it's the best footage that I've seen from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And there have been many, many cases in Puerto Rico, but not so much.
So.
Yeah, photography, yes, but I haven't seen many videotapes.
This is our first bit of French footage. It'll go by